Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course Media and Society in Pakistan. Today I am going to discuss with you a topic, the future of Pakistani journalism. You should know that mass media in Pakistan provides information on television, radio, cinema, newspapers and magazines. Pakistan has a vibrant media landscape, among the most dynamic in South Asia and in the world. Majority of media in Pakistan is privately owned. Pakistan has around 300 privately owned daily newspapers. According to the Pakistan Bureau of Statistics, it's also known as Federal Bureau of Statistics, they had a combined daily sale of 6.1 million copies in 2009. Television is the main source of news and information for people in Pakistan's town, cities, and large areas of the countryside. Marketing research companies Gallup Pakistan, they estimated that there were around 86 million TV viewers in Pakistan in 2009. To a large extent, the media enjoys freedom of expression in spite of political pressure and direct bans sometimes administered by political stakeholders. Political pressures on media is mostly done indirectly. One tool widely used by the government is to cut off unfriendly media from the governmental advertising. Using draconian laws, the government has also banned or officially silent popular television channels. The Pakistan Electronic Media Regulatory Authority, whose abbreviation is like PIMRA, has been used to silence the broadcast media by either suspending licenses or by simply threatening to do so. In addition, I will say that media is also threatened by non-state actors involved in the current conflict. Security situation of the journalist has also improved, and the number of journalists killed in Pakistan has also declined considerably. However, the free press or the press freedom in Pakistan continues to decline. According to a Press Freedom Index, Reporters Without Borders, in 2018, they ranked Pakistan 139 out of 180 countries based on freedom of the press. But recent report from Reporters Without Borders implies considerable improvement in the freedom of press compared to the preceding years or in previous years. Let me discuss with you the future is digital. How? Digital news media of Pakistan is shaping up, but traditional bounds needs to be lashed. Pakistan's media landscape has changed beyond recognition between the first and 20th years of this millennium. Starting off basically with the virtual state, a stranglehold centered on broadcast media with a vibrant but smallish print medium and only a smattering of internet. It has now morphed after major ups and downs into an emaciated private broadcast and print sectors, with a still largish but unpopular and unreliable state broadcast sector. the only medium left standing with a still sizable growth potential and a promise of a relatively free voice to carry the burden of journalism is the internet medium. One way to understand the state of the internet in Pakistan is to roughly view the digital domain in two broad sections. One is the formal news and informal information space, and the second is the broader non-news business space, where the rest of everything happens. The former comprises the framework in which the slowly farmer news and information, local operations, as well as the international social media platforms are situated. Now, the question is what its specific context and what are its key characteristics. Pakistan has been able to engender a growth oriented, dynamic, digital society with internet and online media use, exploding in numbers and scale in recent years. According to We Are Social, which issues country-wise annual internet data at the start of the 2020, they said that over 75 million Pakistanis were online. It means that every third citizen is connected digitally. Over 55% or 37 million use social media, including advertisement, reachable about 33 million on Facebook. And on Instagram, it's around about 6.3 million users and 1.8 million on Twitter. Clearly, like in other places on the planet, internet is empowering Pakistanis to express themselves vigorously. Easier, faster, and cheaper internet access is fueling social media use and underpinning online current affairs, media, and community information platforms that are driving a national discourse from a people's perspective. Let me come to a dynamic digital media. Already, the new internet media has become the new journalism media in Pakistan and rivals the traffic for mainstream offline versions of news and current affairs. This has particularly been driven by the country's youth. It's around about 210 million's population is under the age of 25 who are not watching news bulletins or current affairs shows on televisions or reading newspapers. They are rather online social mediating, exchanging informations. Nearly all current affairs television channels, newspapers, and most FM radio stations, not to mention online only, news and current affairs websites, maintain active social media platforms, especially Facebook and Twitter. Now the question is, who are the main online news players of the country? According to media consumptions and audiences data from Gallup Pakistan from 2018, they refers in the Media Ownership Monitor Index for Pakistan in 2019, produced by Reporters Sans Frontiers, which is the RSF. The cumulative audience shares of top 10 news websites in Pakistan constitute about 26% of the audience's shares all of news websites in the country. While the digital news realm may be more public and trust oriented, business sustainability is a change, as is government and trust in the free flow of critical information and independent opinion online. The top four players in the online media have 24%, more than a half of the audience's share, as they own 8 outlets out of the top 10. The remaining outlets have 1.6%. The Young Group, they has 9.8% audience's share in the overall total, with 3 websites of Young, The News and Geo, which proportionally amounts to 37% of audience's share of the top 10 websites. Like Express Group, they has 8% audience's share. Express websites like Express News, the Express Tribune, which proportionally amounts to 30% of overall audience's share of the top 10 websites. Let's come to the point, the challenge of being online. The online only news media in Pakistani cyberspace is still hampered by business sustainability challenges and a much more diffuse and fickle audiences that cannot spend too much time on news and current affairs because the advertising revenues are mostly snapped up by the digital versions of the mainstream media groups. Despite this, Pakistan's only news media ecosystem is growing and offering a dizzying array of innovative information models that offer more hyper-local, community-friendly informations and multiple mediums, as well as thematic specialties than their mainstream media counterparts. Examples like Hum Sab, Naya Daur, Aina Absar, etc., each with its fantastically diverse focus on topics, geographical regions, linguists, and ethnic groups, and of course, much more representative voices from all social, and that is absent in the blendish mainstream media. The Asia Internet coalitions grouping together like the Facebook, YouTube, Google and Twitter have already hit back against the government intentions, the so-called protections against harm online, to over-regulate the online information sphere, including barely concealed disdain for the free speech online. This also flies in the face of Prime Minister Imran Khan's assurances to the CEOs of global social media giants, including Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, who met him few months back when he visited to United States to invest in Pakistan's burgeoning digital economy. This duality of purpose will undermine one of the very few areas in Pakistan exhibiting optimism and growth, the digital economy. On top of that, if implemented, the proposed social media regulations will end up constricting the online free speech and civil liberties environment further. Like pretty much elsewhere, the futures of Pakistan media is digital, but only if formal news and information providers online can focus on the needs of the audiences. and are backed up with the policies. They don't extend the climate of censorship and also allow the national economy's reach into the digital domain. Let's come to the next point, and also you should know that the digital news media landscape of Pakistan is shaping up nicely to become the people's medium of choice for reliable and useful news and informations, provided the traditional hounds can be kept as bay offline. Pakistan's television's dominated media industry is on the brink of a digital transitions, but is being held back by a lack of sustainable business models for investigative or citizens journalism online that would allow for a greater diversity of voices and options and opinions. The country's digital landscape has remained largely unregulated so far. New laws may end hate speech, defamation, and harassment online, but they may also lead to more state censorship and control, impacting designating or marginalized voices. The digital media landscape is dominated by major national television broadcasters and news publishers. They make use of popular internet platforms such as Facebook, which is around about 33 million reported users as well, Twitter and WhatsApp. Citizen journalism initiatives are rare, resulting in lack of representations for marginalized voices. There is barely any content representing women, minorities, and people speaking local languages. There are different recommendations like citizen initiatives, media viability, the quality and scope of journalism, the state, and self censorship. So, what does it mean by the citizens initiative? Why is it a recommendations? Amid doubts as to large media organizations and trusts is sustainability and as to their businesses plans, dependence on the representation of a diversity of voices. Our experts say viable independent initiatives by citizens are the way forward. If citizens and trusted reporters and editors they set the news agenda, it will be a matter of who gets it right and not who gets it first. Media viability is also a recommendations. Many experts they stressed the need for more research and investment and finding new and sustainable ways of doing journalism online. One of them, the expert, is Raza Rumi. He said that universities and the government should invest more in such initiatives because the future of Pakistani journalism will determine the future of Pakistani politics in society. The next recommendation is the quality and scope of journalism. For citizens to pay for news online, independent journalists and media groups they are need to make a serious effort towards improving the quality of the content they produce. One of the expert, the social media expert, his name is the Asad Beg. He includes that the broadening the scope of content to address people who may not be the primarily audience for print and television, but they have access to the internet and are underrepresented. The last recommendation is the state and self-censorship. Expert in the case of traditional newspapers, which largely follow accuracy and fairness standards, they have taken to publishing their print content online. The quality of media content is mostly poor. This is especially true for content produced for the Urdu speaking market. Since most of the online content produced by the major media houses originates from print in television, they are missing an opportunity to reach out to new audiences. However, it also means their digital content follows the same editorial standards as television and print. Independent vlogs, blogs, and media startups are trying to make their voices heard. They pick up smaller stories that might not seem, but it's important in Pakistan's political chaos and within today's censorship issues. I'm not sure how much they will be able to push as far as content is concerned. I think this is enough for today. I will come up with a new video lecture soon. Kindly subscribe my channel so that you can get my new lecture. Thank you so much and best of luck.